Go for it.
Hi, Gary.
Okay, take two, snap.
Hi, Gary. We've just been on an amazing run around Lord Hereford's Knob. So now we're enjoying a tea. Cheers. Tea and Trails podcast.
Together, we'll make podcasting great again.
That's a mixture between Trump and David Attenborough.
We've reached the corridors of power. Hello and welcome to episode 106 of the Tea and Trails podcast. Shout out to Jenny, Helen, Margaret and Emma for this week's intro. Emma looks incredible in her Tea and Trails bobble hat. Thanks for the intro, ladies. Yeah, your mates having a laugh after a run with a cuppa, warming up. Loved it. Thanks for all the intros. Keep them coming. Email hello@teaandtrails.com.
Do you think Jenny, Helen, Margaret and Emma sound like a modern day famous five? Come on, Helen, let's get the tea on. Margaret will do the washing up. Oh, Emma, you're such a card. Some of you are going to really enjoy this and some of you aren't.
Husky.
I'm husky and I've got the calf. Our car on the way to school this morning sounded like I was taking a truckload of Victorian orphans to school as we just hacked our way to school. So I apologize. I'm going to try and do a little bit less talking because I hate listening to podcasts when the person's disgusting, and I'll try not to cough. But anyway, I'm here. I'm showing up, Gary. I'm showing up. All I want to do is be in my bed watching Virgin River from the beginning. Anyway, a big thank you. Hello, and I love you. I love you, patrons. Price of a cuppa. Oh, I've got a story about the cuppa. Patrons, you're going to love this. You are the ones that keep this sensational and delicious content flowing. Many thanks to all our partners too, sharing a discount code for countless running goodies. Join any patron tier, pay annually, and you'll receive 10% off your subscription, and we'll pop a snood in the post too. Also, pop over to Summit Crazy if you would like to buy some awesome Tea and Trails merch. Don't forget, if you want a snood or a hat, you need to make sure your address is added to Patreon. No address, no goodies.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. We use their products week after week to help us train, hydrate and recover. And if you need a headphone upgrade, then use the code TEA10 for £10 off over at uk.shokz.com.
Sorry, because I was coughing. I didn't listen to which bit you read. So I was trying to find the mute button and let me mute it a bit.
Arc 50 mile winning headphones, SHOKZ. I saw Tom Evans was rocking them as he crossed the line.
What do you reckon he was listening to?
Tea and Trails.
Just on repeat, just the intro. Big shout out to X Miles for supporting us for 2025. Pop over to X Miles for all your nutrition and kit needs. There's lots of brands to choose from. Gary loves their nutrition planner, and there's loads of insights and articles shared too. So if you're hitting the wall during a race, session or workout, you got no excuses. Go and get some of those carbs in. This week's guest should have hit up X Miles for some nutrition to drink. You throwing Leroy under the bus there, but I'm sure he would have said that as well. And it's a good learning point for anybody that is thinking of doing one of the UTMB branded races. Practice with their nutrition first. Don't forget, patrons receive 10% off over at www.xmiles.co.uk.
Well, that's why I like X Miles, because you're not wedded to one brand.
Who's ever, apart from if you're James Elson, going to do a whole race on one gel?
No, but what I mean, say, if you would do Little 100, that's quite unique, where it's kind of jelly babies and that kind of stuff. But 13 Valleys was Voom Nutrition, and then obviously you've got NAC down at the UTMB events. So a company like X Miles, yeah, you can dip into any of those brands. Links to all our sponsors, Patreon and the Tea and Trails Ultra, can be found in the show notes and over at www.teaandtrails.com. Entries are live. GPX files are ready to download. download from the Outdoor Active website. And I've seen lots of listeners, downloading the route, going for little adventures and exploring the route too. Fun times, fun times. I've had an incredible week. How's your week been?
You can go and it was terrible. I tell you, the best way to start your week, Gary, is Monday. This is going to become our thing. Monday, run and strides. Monday. I often think I should preload the week because my week always goes to pot. Monday and Tuesday. And Monday's my relatively quiet work day because everybody's set for the week. Quite a lot of people have rest days or relatively easy days. I should do something more on a Monday, but also sometimes I just need to decompress on a Monday.
I like a chill.
Weekends. Yeah,
I'll have these plans. I think I'll go to the gym, I'll lift weights and stuff like that.
Let's get it. And then I'm like, actually, I just want to chill on a Monday. So that's what I did. I just did my run and I did my strides. Felt good. Went to the osteo. We're still still recovering. I tell you what, with great miles run comes great recovery. I am still getting my body back moving again after the winter 200, trying to get the nerves back in my big toes. I've stopped tripping up on pavements so much now because I can't feel my toes. And it makes things like, sort of like if you're running on a bit of technical terrain, like you really don't have very good balance. So you can't feel through your big toe. I'm a bit like, whoop, whoop. But it is coming back. It's just taking a long time. So I had quite a lot of back work. She said it was better, but breathe and believe, Eddie, and it does leave me a bit sore afterwards. So it was just run and strides. I'm pretty sure I did a double day. And then I mean, Monday and Tuesday was all about self-care, if you can call. Do you know, I feel guilty when I go to the osteo and I book a slot out to go and have my back and my pelvis moved. It's not. That is terrible to call that. That's your downtime. That's my time off, is going to the pelvis and always go to the
Some
kids.
people like it though. Quite pleasant to some people.
I'm only going because you ruined me. I do quite like it in a strange sort of way because I know it's going to make me feel better. And she's lovely, my new osteo. And she's always telling me about her little girl and how she wants to get back running. I don't think I'm a good, when I go to people that are like, oh, I'd love to start running. And then they meet me and they're like, maybe I don't. Had my first sports massage on Tuesday after a long time. Found a new guy. Nervous times finding a new person. You don't do any of this.
No, but what's the difference between a sports massage and just, I don't know, if you went to the physio?
Okay, so let me invite you into my room, Gary. Just a pleasure massage for me. I don't think we should go down.
That's not on the script.
I've been reading too much about the Blake Lively case. Have you been following any of that? Oh, it's
no, what
terrible.
is this?
Oh, no, it's terrible. I don't want, we want to discuss it. But, well, a sports massage, it's all deep tissue massage. It's all about moving the blood, loosening the muscles. And done well, it is quite painful, but not too painful. Anyway, found a guy, did a bit of Google searching and a bit of stalking, and this guy was recommended to me. I always get a bit nervous to go and lie in your pants and get somebody to get in your righty pants. But I really needed it before Winter 200, I was already quite tight. And then afterwards, I really needed a bit of a loosening up. So very good. And he was like, you know, I'm not going to go in too hard. We'll see how I feel the next day. And then he was doing my quads and he's chatting. And I was like finding it hard to reply because it was quite painful. And then he said, put your arm out. And he like gently stroked my forearm. And he's like, that's how hard I was pressing in your quads. Like there was no pressure at all, just like a gentle, he's like, they're really tight. I'm not surprised. And I said, and sensational? Is that the words you were looking? Really tight, but sensational. So then the next day, I foolishly thought I'll do my session 4 by 10 minutes. Again, foolishly, I thought I'll take the dogs because I'm not trying to run that fast. And we'll do it sort of on trail. So Taki will be able to keep up. Taki was not in the mood. And she was like, she was like right behind me. I kept going, come on, I've got to go. Taki was not up for it at all. And then I could not get my heart rate up. I could not get my legs moving or my heart rate up above really 140, which normally I can get that by breathing, going out the door. I kept trying. I didn't give up. I did the session, but unless I had a hill, I could not get my legs moving. So I thought I put it down to, the massage was a lot like harder than I thought. It left my legs a lot sorer. Okay.
I've had that in the past when I was I think I was probably overtraining or trying to do too much and I just couldn't get.
Well, then I started like, oh my gosh, am I going into this sort of like deep fatigue of overtraining? Because the week before, I said on the podcast, I'm tired, I'm not feeling it. I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to take weeks off? Is it all over? Is this it? Do you do that when you have a bad session, Gary? Do you because some of my athletes can if they have a bad session, I literally need to provide 3 or 4 hours therapy afterwards of talking it through and we can move on. And some people can just move on and be like, that's just a bad session. I'm just tired.
Well, I was a bit worried before that I couldn't get my heart rate as high as that it should be. And no matter how, hard I thought I was pushing, I just couldn't generate that energy. But yeah, it was just, I think I was doing a bit too much. That was that marathon training when I was
Can you leave it though? Do you worry about it for the rest of the day or?
Well, yeah, especially if you're training a group and everybody else is rinsing you.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, being rinsed in the group. Anyway, I can just leave it. I'll just walk away and be like that. That is, but I don't think I've had a heart rate that's been too high. I've never not been able to get my heart rate up before.
Yeah.
Anyway, wiped it off. Next day, I didn't feel that tired because my 4 by 10 minutes was at my current 50-mile pace. So I thought let's do some more strides again and a little bit of tempo work and just see what the heart rate does. This time I took Taki off the lead, chose a place that was safe. And I was like, you just go at your own pace. We're on this flat bit of track. And I took the lead off and then she was like, I'll lead the pack. I hadn't got my lead on, so I'm good. Anyway, did some strides, felt great, 50-minute tempo, with up a slight incline. But by this time, Gary, heart rate through the roof, absolutely blowing. I ran up to the end of the road and then I needed to make another 3 minutes. So I pretended to myself, do you need a wee, dogs? Okay, we'll just stop here. So I was like, oh my God, I just need a moment. And then I was like, what the hell? My legs felt fine.
Yeah.
But my heart rate was through the roof. Then it all became clear. The next day when I woke up, my vital statistic signs were all red. You are about to die. Take control of the situation. You should not be moving today. Everything was, your body temperature, everything was red.
What day is this? Sorry, this is Thursday, is it?
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting, this story, isn't it? You've lost track of the days. Anyway, there is a moral to this story. There is a reason behind it. Anyway, on Friday, I was meant to be traveling down to the running show to crew for Sophie and provide witness statement for her 48-hour record. She had a main crew support, but I was going to go and sort of be a rotation to let some of them go and sleep and provide moral support and run on the treadmill.
This was the day the storm was rolling in, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there was storm brewing. So with that in mind, I hadn't done a huge amount of volume as well because I was aware I could be running up to 50 miles on the treadmill with Sophie and I didn't want to have to keep walking while she was like, Eddie, come on, keep pace. Anyway, I was traveling down with Karen and Debs and drive down. It's quite a big drive for us Northerners to drive down to Birmingham. And it's pre-weather warning. It was all red. It was it's going to be the strongest wind ever recorded. Karen initially pulled the plug and was like, I'm not going. And so Debs and I were like, well, we'll still go. We'll leave an hour later. We were looking at the weather window. And then I said, if I come out of the house in the morning and I can't open my car door, I'm not coming because we're quite it's quite a long way to a main road as well. So if there's a lot of debris, trees, it's dangerous. Anyway, the day progressed. The weather warning got worse and worse. The media were like, this is great.
It was threat to life, wasn't it? It was basically debris.
You go outside, you will die. You will go, you open your door, you will die. Anyway, then the kids, we got alerts on our phone. When you get those emergency alerts. Then the kids' school got shut the next day. There'll be no transport to school. Of course, kids were absolutely beyond themselves. And I did think, this is blowing it a bit out of proportion. We went to bed. So in the end, by Thursday afternoon, Debs and I were like, we cannot travel because we've got to travel really early in the morning to get there. I'm not that person. I'm a mum. Most of all. But
Thursday evening, I don't know what it was like where you were. Thursday evening, we were doing our little session on the industrial estate, and I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it's coming.
Exactly. Thursday's our busy sports night, and the kids were all playing sports, and I was like, Oh God, I felt terrible. I hate letting people down. And I was really disappointed because I'd ordered 1,000 gym wipes for Sophie's treadmill. I got a pot of 1,000 gym wipes and a massive tub of chafing squirrel nut butter. I was really looking forward to going down and helping and being part of it. And
Look, the buds look great.
Spend the weekend with my kids locked in a house. Anyway, Thursday night came back in and we went to bed about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Woke up to a noise that I can't even explain of the wind, of like bang, bang, crash, crash. So the noise of the wind was something else. And it was meant to be just coming in. That was just the start. So, of course, kids had no school, all up by 6:30 because our house sounded like, you know, the house in The Wizard of Oz when it like goes up in the... It sounded like Dorothy. We were just watching, like sitting on the sofa, looking out the window, just watching like literally the world blow past. Our bench just blew across the garden, watching the trees just blowing and the bird table. Goodbye, sweet bird table. I shouldn't put it away. Everything just like, anyway, tried to get the dogs out. Couldn't open. I was right. I couldn't open the back door. Pushing like, when Lindy was like, what the? Because it had said in the media, you might need to tie your dogs down. And we were laughing so much about it. But honestly, the wind, the gusts, I said, we can't take them even like down the lane. There was just so much wind that I was like, we'll just take them out in the garden. And we threw a tennis ball around a bit and their ears were like blowing madly. Anyway, it was a pretty exciting day. And the wind, by like, I think it was about lunchtime, trees were falling down like literally every 10 minutes. We had 2 or 3 trees down. There was no way it was safe to go. And then the aftermath is still going on now. Like on the school run, there must be 30, 40 trees down like every 20 meters.
Just where we are, there's trees down. Esme's uni was closed.
The week went to pot. I felt this is just a disaster. Week went to pot. I felt terrible. Thought I'll run on the treadmill, Gary. It'll be all right. I'll run on the treadmill. What happens in big storms? Power cuts. Did it. Anyway,
everything's conspiring against you.
Oh no! So every time the power came on, I went on the treadmill for like, but what I did is I put it uphill, so I was running really slow because I thought if the power suddenly goes off and it dies, I'll just stop. I won't. If I'm running fast, I'll just fly off the back. Anyway, I did quite a few. I don't know. I need to look back to see how actually I did, but I kept going out. I would escape the kids if anything else for another half hour. I'll go and climb another 1,000 feet.
If there's no power to the treadmill, could you push the belt still, or is it braked? Because I just saw Elsie Davis did that workout where she was 45 degrees or something, and then she was simulating kind of hiking up a hill. No,
I don't think the belt's on a motor. I don't think it's. I think you can get belts like that. Like you can get those self treadmill belts, can't you? I hate those. Yeah. They scare me. Anyway, so I managed to do a few little like small workouts, but it was a bit tricky with the kids and the storm and everything. And anyway, then Sunday I thought I'll do my long run Sunday. So it all is not lost. Funny weekend with the storm and everything changing. When plans change, it was Lisa and I've got massive FOMO because everybody's having a good time and I'm just cleaning and unpacking the dishwasher again. But I thought, no mind, Sunday, literally storm passed, had to go a very circuitous route to sports matches. And I thought, I'll do my long run. Anyway, tried to run, Gary, my chest. I haven't been ill. And you podcast listeners, you'll know this because I rock up week after week. Gary's always ill. I haven't been ill, I reckon, since I had COVID in like 2021.
I am struggling to find the last time you were ill.
I'm never ill, so I refuse to be ill. It's not that I get ill and then I'm like, no, I must soldier on. Just never get ill. But my God. So I started running and I thought, be all right. 10-minute mile, Gary, 156 heart rate. I was absolutely dying. Did I stop? Oh, no. Eddie just kept thinking, Eddie. I've got this slot. I know, I've got this slot. So I just run really slow. I could not get my heart rate down. And I had to keep stopping because my chest hurt so much to like I was like, what am I doing? Then in my sweaty running kit, I had to then go on to the next match and just put my coat on, which would normally be fine. Of course, then I stood. Oh, it was a disaster, Gary. It was a disaster.
Eddie,
Then we said,
there's a time to give yourself some grace.
Anyway, this is just like conversations of Bryn. We thought we'll take the kids out for a late lunch after this because they've been housebound for like the last 3 days. And we don't really know anywhere locally yet to go and have like a nice Sunday roast. So we thought we'll just pick anywhere and we'll go in because it's kind of fun. We'll just test all the places. You know, when you open the door, the minute high risk, we walked in, it was completely empty. What's that music they make in the Wild West? You know, when the cowboys... And I we both looked at each other with no words needed, but we just so wanted to turn around and walk back. But we thought we can't now. They were so lovely, but all the food, there was no veggie option. So I was starving. It was like lunchtime at like 3:30. So I had like a hummus something.
25 and there was no veggie option. Sorry, that's shocking.
It was sad times. And then kids loved it because they had the football on and they just had burgers. By then I was meant to be going out with to make some new friends, going to this outdoor spa in the evening. Again, had been really looking forward to it, but I had to be flaky on people I've not even met yet, Gary, and try and explain, look, I never get ill, but I can't. And also I don't want to come and I don't want to sweat.
Coughing all over
but also you don't want this all over you. Oh, what it was just, anyway, went to bed, thought that'll be it. I'll feel better. Do I feel better? We're recording this on Wednesday. Oh my God. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, you shouldn't have gone running then, should you, Eddie? You shouldn't have. Well, you're probably right. And now I'm paying for it. So it's a disaster, Gary. And as we all do when we're ill, I've lost all my fitness, everything. It's all over. The year's over.
Retiring.
The year's over. I'm retiring. I've lost like 3 or 4 days training. I'm just going to get all my race entries back and I'm not running. So there we go. I said, I'm not going to talk much. I won't tell you much about the week, but there we go. In a nutshell.
Good news about the burgers, though. Good news about the burgers.
And come on then. Incredible week. I had an incredible week.
Well, I only did... So I did my Brute Labs. I've got to look sensational.
Also, sorry, just to jump back into me. While I was running uphill on the treadmill, what session did I do? I did 8 by 3 minutes uphill at 12%.
Yep.
And I thought, if Gary is doing 800 meters uphill, you are going to be on that treadmill for 3 hours.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I forgot to message you going, by the way, I think you need to put it on time rather
It was a massive session.
Anyway, so yeah, talk me through it and then we'll get to that.
So easy miles on Monday plus strides, and I had a roast. George and I had a roast on a Monday night. We were boys home alone.
What did you have? Chicken?
We had roast pork. Roast potatoes, roast carrots.
Applesauce?
No, schoolboy area with that. But it was incredible. Boys at home, dinner on your lap in front of the TV. And we watched, George loves a military drama, and it was Masters of the Air on Apple. If you like Band of Brothers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa's not, it's a great opportunity. With Lisa being away, she is not that invested in a World War II drama. So yeah, great opportunity for me and George. Just to binge, we binged on it big time. Tuesday, Brute Labs, strides, and I weighed myself and not the numbers I wanted to see, but the numbers I got. Girls don't lie. Yeah, but I'm not as heavy as I was this time last year, which I suppose is a positive. I do think sometimes I have an issue around food, but currently, first time I've weighed myself in 2025. So 1 time on the scales in 4 weeks. It's not too bad. But yeah, then we roll around to the 800s at 10%. And the first 800 made it quite apparent this was going to be an enormous session. I think it was... I always ease myself in on the first one. I don't want to kind of burn all my matches straight away. And it was like 5.5 minutes for 800 meters. So I'm quickly doing the maths, thinking, 5 8's 40, then plus all those half minutes. That is a absolutely whopping session. That 1 minute recovery too. After I'd done maybe the 3 800s, I just wasn't getting into zone 2. And immediately when I'd start running again, I was back out in zone 4. So I did cap it at 7. I didn't do 8 because I don't need to do 40 minutes of effort when technically I'm on we talk about these pre-planned plans. All county tops training starts this week. So last week was just the end of me faffing around. So there's no way I needed to do 43 minutes in zone 4. Did get in that right smack bang in the mid-range of what I think my zone 4 is. So I did the graft, really good, solid graft. Recovery is fine, decent elevation, but yeah, I bailed out. I didn't do all 8. Thursday, easy miles, and I decided to do Gary, one of the other people in the group. He's training for London Marathon. He had a 40-minute fartlek session, and because I did my 800s the day before, I'm like, well, no way I'm going to do that. I'm absolutely wrecked. But what I decided to do, because this was, I suppose, going back to Louise's question last week when she was talking about running with faster friends and how there was a bunch of us there. One guy was coming back from injury. The others did this 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off fartlek, and I just thought, well, I want to be with everybody, so I'll just do 10 times 1 minute. And yeah, it was just basically an out and back. So we're all separate, but we're all together. Nothing too hard, but yeah, good. Because doing 800s, 10% on a treadmill, you're not really getting your legs turning over, but 10 times 1 minute, it was good, yeah. Friday, I decided to do an uphill tempo. This was not on plan. I just thought, yeah, I'm chasing vert here, so I will do that. And I got in the zone 3, that kind of classic low, for me anyway, low aerobic would be where I'd like to maybe do Lakeland 100 or 100k, kind of race that. But I had a dentist trip, which made, I was going to go to the gym afterwards, and I don't know why, I'd kind of forgot how much the anaesthetic would basically stitch me up afterwards. So I had this vision, I'll go to the dentist. I had a fill-in, so I was full of anaesthetic. Thought I'm going to jog past Greg's, load up on a pink jammy, have a cuppa, and then run to the gym, do my treadmill session, and then do the weights. As the dentist put the anaesthetic in, I was sitting down thinking, when's this going to kick in? He's going to start drilling away soon. And I really thought I'm going to feel everything. But yeah, lo and behold, it kicked in big time. I couldn't go to Greg's. I had zero
Why
function.
Didn't you call me? And then I could have mocked you with the.
I had zero function. And I went to the gym, and luckily I had some precision fuel and hydration shoes, and I was in the changing rooms all on my own, and I could just about I literally got those down, looked like a right straight. Went in the treadmill. I couldn't hydrate because every time I tried to drink, I would just dribble it all the way down my vest and t-shirt and then all over the treadmill. So I was absolutely hanging doing this 6% aerobic session on the treadmill. I had to bail the weights. I couldn't do any strength. Yeah, needed sugar, which I couldn't get in. I don't know why. I just thought, yeah, I'm going to do all this. Going to have my fill-in, jog up to Greg's, get a donut, off to the gym.
The bit about jogging up to Greg's is a sensational insert into that thought process.
I even went to Greg's, went to the door, jogged past it, thought, no, I'm going to go to Greg's. I made a decision. Went back. I think I did it about 3 times and I never went in.
Everybody listening, if you need dentistry work, you've got to do a couple of things. You've got to go for your run first if you know you're going to have a journey, or you're just going to the dentist because it's just horrendous, isn't it? You've got to preload. You've got to take on some gels and stuff because you're not going to eat. And we all know as runners, like a couple of hours without calories is a disaster and such a sad state of affairs when you can't eat as well. So you need to preload, and then you need to go and get some soup and make sure you've got some nice soup.
I needed a straw. What I needed was a straw.
You need a straw, and don't heat the soup too much because we've all been there as well. Oh,
times.
Gary.
I know, school. Well, it's been such a long time since I've had a fill-in, so I'd forgot.
Talking about, I'm very impressed with you adding that uphill aerobic session on the treadmill because I do those a couple of days a week instead of a second recovery run. I put it up, depending on how my legs feel, 10 or 12%. And I do half an hour and I wear my heart rate monitor and I try and keep it low. Start really slow.
Yeah.
Pre-keeled legs. And then zone 2, bottom end, zone 3. If I'm feeling good, I just allow the heart rate to go up. And if I'm not, I'm like, just keep it. But it nearly always ends up the last 10 minutes, I'm hitting zone 3 or zone 2. So I do that a couple of times a week. And last week, and then I write on my whiteboard, last week when I did it, and I've been doing those all January. Yeah, when I started retrain, so that I must have done about 10, 12 of them this month. My heart rate was 4 beats lower for the same pace and the percentage.
Oh, so incredible.
Aerobic gains, Gary, with very minimal. I love it because you don't feel like you're working, but it feels good because you like.
I had the Netflix on. It was sensational.
Yeah, you can just watch Netflix because you're going slow. I just watched Sally McRae on YouTube on repeat, but it does work.
It's quite uplifting too because so I was faithful, like high zone 2, low zone 3, but I quickly got there. So I started off, whatever it was. I don't know if it's miles per hour or just the number on the treadmill. So I was like
it's
7 on the.
It's not a session. It's not a session.
Exactly.
You have to be quite. Yeah.
But I got there quite quick. So I was running relatively fast initially, but then to keep at that zone 2, zone 3, you would get slower and slower and slower. So the session did progressively feel easier and easier and easier, even though the effort was the same. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Quite an uplifting session, and got a decent, I think it was about 2,000 feet of vert. So I'll take
2,000 feet of vert in half an hour? You shut up.
Oh, no.
Or was it longer than half an hour?
Yeah, it was about 45, 60 minutes. Saturday Dean miles with Robbo, I always enjoyed that. I do a little loop of the village, then I go and find Robbo in the Dean. We spend 2 hours together, then I run back. For Castle Eden Dean, we get a decent amount of elevation in that place. It's sensational. Sunday, we did a little trip to the Moors. Went and downloaded the GPX file. I know, so I was thinking I want to do about 16, 17 miles on Sunday, and I know Harbour Moors always give you a few extra miles for their races. So I thought, well, if I go into the Harmo's website, downloaded their GPX for their Wainstones half route, it's going to be over 13. And I think it was like 16 and a half miles. So fantastic. Not being on those trails. No, I'll go up and backwards and forward on the Cleveland Way quite a lot, but I'd never take a little right and deviate, then do a loop and come back.
Is it the same like what we ran? What you ran?
That's where we started. I started on Lonsdale's Calf. Then we ran over the Three Sisters, up, not quite to Bloth Cross, and then you take a right and eventually come to, it's spelled Chop Gate, but it's pronounced Chop Yat. No, once you get off the Cleveland Way, there's not many flagstones. It's quite muddy trails and tracks. Really nice. And all of us, me and Aaron, we've done that route before. I think we've both done the Wainstones, but nobody else in the group had done it. So it was just refreshing, change. And we kept saying, why do we keep driving to the lakes? Why do we keep driving to the lakes? Every opportunity to drive the lakes, we should be a bit more faithful and come to the Moors. And yeah, I threw the Moors under the bus in our chat with Leroy that their cafe game is not as good as the lakes. And I think I probably need to do some more research as far as that's concerned. Sunday, cinema. Went to see Nosferatu, the vampire film. Is that on your radar?
Never even heard of it.
Oh,
No.
what?
I know. I wouldn't go to the cinema. I'd be too scared.
Well, it wasn't scary. It was a bit silly. Good horror. Yeah, no jumping.
Good horror. Those two words do not go together, Gary.
Well, Lisa went and we all came out. 3 thumbs up, and it was great to see a busy cinema. I think I listened to some other podcast about cinema and horror. Cinema's struggling big time because of Netflix and Disney and all these other streaming services. Horror is still punching, still swinging away. I had a really, really good week. 76 miles, 18 hours of graft. And look at those numbers, Eddie. 12,600 feet of vert.
You'll be sick next week.
Thank you, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew the Coaches. Their website and newsletters are such a good source of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on too. Check out the Fuel Planner, and why not book a free video chat with their awesome sports scientists. And if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then use the code TEATime2025 for 15% off your first order. You'll notice these codes have been updated actually for 2025. And if you are a Patreon, then you get a whopping 20% off. Yeah, you need to head over to Patreon for all the deets. I think they've increased that discount for patrons, Eddie. I'm pretty sure it used to be 15%.
They love our patrons, didn't we? We got a good pat on the back but we should pass this on to our patrons. Have you not WhatsApped them all individually to say thank you?
Everyone has had a DM from me.
We jumped into everybody with a picture and you slurping a Precision Fuel and Hydration gel in your red shorts, but they did say our code was sensational. So thank you for using the code. What's your interesting observation?
My interesting observation on my 4-hour run, Edwina, was, well, basically I leaned on, just to save money, I took out my classic bag of Tesco fruit jellies, 200 grams in there, and there's 88 grams of carb per 100 grams. So that's a decent amount of carbohydrate for 2 hours of running. I thought that was going to do me and serve me well. But basically, I miscalculated my numbers. So progressively over that 2 hours, I was under fueling as we went. It wasn't too bad because 2 hours isn't too long to go without fueling. But if you flip that and you'd been running, say, for 18 hours into a 100 miler, then yeah, your maths are completely out the window. So what I did do after the 2 hours, I leaned on the Precision Fuel and Hydration, the 30 gram chews and the gels. I know you pay for the convenience to have those numbers just in front of you, but when you're in the trenches, when you're really struggling to make the right decision, your watch beeps at 30 minutes, I thought with my rough calculations on my fruit jelly sweets, I was getting about 30 grams of carb every half an hour. Turns out I was probably giving myself about 15 grams of carb. Could have avoided it, yeah, if I'd done some more planning. If I put them all on the scales and then worked out I needed to eat 8 jelly chews or whatever it was, I could have done all of this myself, but I didn't.
It's what I always tell my athletes if they say they're going to take sweeties. I'm like, it's just, you just need to measure it out to make sure. Because it feels a lot, doesn't it? Like...
Yeah. Well, I just thought those chews look roughly about the same. The Precision Fuel Nutrition 30 gram chews look about the same as 3 jelly sweets. But I got to the end of 2 hours.
Gary, isn't like 3 jelly sweets, like that's probably about 20 grams of carbs. Not
I think it might have been about 15.
Oh, your teeth. No wonder you're at that dentist.
Pretty shocking how much. Come the weekend, wow, the amount of sugar that we runners eat.
My kids can't get over, like when they see a packet of Haribo and a big packet. And I'm like, 50k, I probably won't make my way through that because I'm really strict with them about sweets. Like they're allowed like 1. Literally, they're allowed 1. They're allowed after dinner, they're allowed a square of chocolate.
Dark chocolate too.
I'm dark. Or cooking chocolate. I'm really strict. And like if they go to parties and stuff, the saddest, can they bring their body bags back? Yeah, I'm really strict, Gary.
Just tell them to go and run 50k. You can eat what you want.
Yeah. So then when we go running, I take a little packet of sweeties, and then they're like, "So can I just have one?" I'm like, "Yeah, chuck it in. This is when you fill your boots." They're probably in the then. Don't worry, everybody. By the bedside tables, I go and I'm like, "What? You snuck in the sweets?" I love it. I'm like, "Good on ya." Yeah. Moral of the story though, isn't it? If you do use sweeties, which are great, convenient, and if you can just jump into a garage, whatever, if you like. You don't, and sometimes they're just good. I love a Haribo or a sugared
Tanfastics as well. Oh my God, incredible.
God. Skittles, danger game with Skittles, because if you choked on that.
Yeah, it's a very specific question this week, and it's great to have Rebecca as part of the team for these type of questions. John is following a vegan diet, but he has had his gallbladder removed. I'm 58 and came to running 9 years ago, and despite many biomechanical issues from rugby and football 30 years ago, I have entered my first ultra, the World's Rangers Way by Ultra Trails, taking part on the 19th of April. Shout out to Grantham, Mel, fellow tea and trailers. My question is fueling. I try to be as vegan as possible with occasional fish and some dairy, brackets skimmed milk. I had my gallbladder out last year and have gained some weight. Can you recommend a fueling strategy for a vegan with all the dietary considerations that come with not having a gallbladder? Many thanks, John McKinland. Wow, I know nothing about this, but I'm really curious, actually, Rebecca, would like a restrictive diet, like a vegan diet, would that cause issues potentially maybe with someone who hasn't got a gallbladder?
Hi, John. Thanks for the question. Most people who have their gallbladder removed have it removed because you get gallstones. Occasionally, it can obviously be related to other conditions, but generally, most people have their gallbladder removed because of that. And quite often, when people get gallstones, they are advised to follow a sort of lower fat diet, because the function of the gallbladder is to store bile, which is made in the liver, and then the gallbladder pushes it into your intestine in response to what you've been eating to help with digestion. And it does that more so when you've had higher fat content to your diet. So if you've got gallstones and you're waiting to have your gallbladder removed, the advice is generally to follow a sort of healthier diet, lower fat. Once you've had the gallbladder removed, provided there's no ongoing issues with your digestion, and if there is, obviously that would need to be investigated. But assuming you recovered from the operation fully and everything's gone back to normal, actually there's no specific restrictions you need to continue to follow. Some people might find that they feel a bit better. Obviously on a healthier diet, a lower fat diet might suit them better. But essentially there's nothing specific or different you generally have to do just because you don't have a gallbladder. But everyone is individual, and obviously there might be some foods that just don't suit them, and they continue not to suit them after they've had the gallbladder removed. So the recommendation is just to follow a healthy diet. So making sure you've got particularly protein, particularly for runners, that's really important. So your background diet does need to include protein. And I think that can sometimes be harder if you follow a particularly restricted diet. But in terms of the gallbladder itself, I think It's about having a diet which just suits you as an individual, rather than paying too much attention to the fact that it is your gallbladder that's been removed, because essentially the bile that's produced in the liver should take over most of that digestive function. But it makes sense for us as runners to make sure we have an otherwise healthy diet with enough protein, enough fibre, that sort of thing.
I wonder if John's vegan for ethical reasons or like a dietary choice. Yeah, that's really curious. Eddie, you're a vegetarian. How do you get your protein?
How do I get by my Protein Rebel protein shakes morning and night? I can get my protein because, I do take the Protein Rebel protein powder, mainly because I'm a busy mum working, and especially breakfast, I just make sure that I have protein in my breakfast by having a protein shake alongside my many cups of tea and pieces of toast. But it takes quite a lot of planning. It's not something, and this is what I did try and go vegan for a few months, but I found I could not get enough protein into my diet. I was always cold and I was always hungry, and I was trying to do it for ethical reasons, but I just didn't have the time to prepare the menu. And in France, they're only just getting on to the vegetarian options in the supermarkets. So there just wasn't the options. There's a lot more options, I think, back in the UK, but I have to really, I have to think for every meal. It's pretty simple when you're eating meat because that's your protein. But for every meal, I have to think, where's my protein coming from? Where beans, pulses, grains, I have to really kind of like plan ahead. It's not simple, but I feel not only do I do a vegetarian diet for ethical reasons, but I actually find I feel better. I haven't, touched wood, had a major injury since. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Feel better on a vegetarian diet, but it does take a lot more. It does take a lot more planning and thought to make sure that you've got that protein level in there as well. So I give kudos to anybody that manages to be a vegan, but I do my bit. I try and do my bit. Especially
with the planning side of it. I'm super lazy when it comes to stuff like that. So I would probably...
You're not lazy. It's just we all have really busy lives, isn't it?
Yeah. But probably eating nuts. So like Rebecca said about maybe we trying to keep an eye on the fat that you intake. I'd probably consume vastly like larger amounts of fat than what I normally would, just because I'm trying to stay away from meat. Yeah, it's fascinating. Trish, have you got any experience with this?
Not really, no. I mean, we try to eat. We try to eat ethically, but I really like meat. Sorry, guys.
See, I don't like meat, so it's really easy for me because I actually don't like it. So even if it was offered to me and it was the only choice, I'd be like,
I really like meat. So we try and eat ethically, and we try and mix that, I would say, with like pulses, a lot of pulses as part of a meal. But I mean, I have no idea in terms of, to be honest with you, my advice would be to speak to a specialist, someone who actually knows what they're talking about in regards to a vegan diet. The key thing, like Rebecca said, is, whether you do it for ethical reasons or whatever, the bottom line is, as an athlete, you've got to fuel, and you've got to fuel right, and you've got to hit all those key groups. You've got to get your protein, your carbs, and your fats, and all the rest of it. So you've got to get all of those things on board in order to stay healthy. So whatever, at the end of the day, whatever works for you. We're all different people. We all have different lives. We know we don't walk in each other's shoes, so it's difficult to know what's going on with people, but you do you, and we all try and do what we can when we can. But I would say 100%, if you're not too sure about it, speak to someone, a professional who knows what they're talking about.
Kudos to you, John, though. No gallbladder and following a vegan diet. That must be taking some preparation and thought. So let us know how you get on, and let us know perhaps if anybody else is maybe going down this journey. John, let us know how you get on and if you pick up any tips and tricks along the way.
Yeah, good luck, John. Good luck with your first ultra, John. I know Grant and Mel will look after you well because they put on an ace race. Thanks, Phoenix Light, for sponsoring this week's interview. And don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at www.phoenixlight.co.uk. You all know we use and love. Oh, we need to get with their marketing department and upgrade the names of these head torches.
What would you call it? Can we not suggest to marketing that we run a competition to name our favourite, the MM65R? Can we not, Tea and Trails listeners, come up with a name for the head torch and we'll rename it. Do you know, like they named the boat Boaty McBoaty Face?
That's
On your long run,
grade.
everybody, this week, what would you call the head torch? Bright?
Well, I mentioned, you remember, goodness me, a few weeks ago now, I mentioned about a different head torch and it said it had a built-in whistle.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you screwed your face.
To a lot of the stuff. Oh God, I screw my face up by everything you say.
Well, the HM65R-2-T version 2 does too.
You didn't give that full. Gary, when we were at when I was at university and we were learning to be sports coaches, we had a whole lecture on how to blow a whistle, which is actually a lot harder than you think when you start like being a ref or an umpire of like the different whistle tones.
You've got to commit.
Got to make the decision, and when you blow that whistle, that decision needs to come through the whistle. They know who means boss.
I might get a whistle for Thirsty Thursday. Love it.
I love it. Give
2
me
minutes.
a whistle.
Yes.
Give me a whistle and whistle around my neck. And when I used to be a teacher, I had an array of different whistles. Obviously, and you'd always lose your whistle. Like you always lose your car keys, and you'd be like late for your lesson. You'd be like, oh God, I haven't got a whistle. You always had like the good whistles or the bad whistles, or you'd have to end up taking a whistle from the ones that you gave to the kids who were off sport, and you were like, and they'd all be like chewed and stuff, and you'd be like, oh, this is not going to be a good day. And then sometimes you'd forget you'd have the whistle on. You go and do a demonstration or something, and then it would just pat you in the face as you showed some sensational defending skills. But had I known that I could have just worn a head torch and then just taken that off, do you think we're going to see it in the Premier League?
100%. Next year they're going to introduce that. Probably the Championship first, then they'll make it into the Premier League.
Just take it on
if
there.
it's a success.
Absolutely. We're going to see Phoenix bringing that one out soon. Anyway.
Well, this week's guest had a bit of a head torch panic as he chomped up the Arc of Attrition last weekend. Lovely guy with great energy too. Hope you enjoy our chat with Leroy Valentine.
Excellent. We'll just turn it up. I'm sorry, I'm not used to all this.
Got his hoodie on, flexing.
This is from the first time I done it, actually.
When was that?
That was in 2023. Yeah, that was my first 100 miler.
Why did you take a year? I'm asking all the questions. I'm like Lakeland 100 every year. I go back to the Lakeland 100.
Oh, really? Right. Oh, okay. No, well, I just thought I wanted to do other stuff, and it's a lot on the body as well, and with work, and it's I've done the 153 as well, the North Downs Way, the FKT for that.
Have you got your buckle, the gold buckle?
Yes, I have. Do you want to see it?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
The gold buckle. Yes, it's here. I've got two of these.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You're very mobile. You got up like a spring chicken.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm actually, do you know what? I think that's just weight training and stuff really helps. Since I've been getting older, I've just been really hitting the weight training. That's really been helping with my recovery and stuff. And said, I've been to the gym today. I have not been having a workout, but just having a steam in the sauna, just moving about, just getting the blood flowing.
Oh, was that a live picture from the sauna earlier on?
That was right. Yeah, that was me.
Well, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll dive into the weight training stuff. But you've got a physical job too, so how do you do the both?
I do lead roofing, so it's quite heavy. I'm picking up rolls of lead, doing lead flat roofs and stuff. You do get tired days, but as you know, we enjoy training, so you just push on through it, don't you?
I'm not too sure if you listened to a podcast lately, but we do we pop everybody's name into AI and see what it.
Yes, I've heard this. Yeah, this will be interesting.
Well, what's really good for us, sometimes there's bits that we don't know, or I knew about your FKT, but I didn't know the money you raised for it. So it's great. It just kind of gives a little bit more detail.
Sure.
Leroy Valentine is an ultra runner who recently made headlines by running 153 miles from Dover to Farnham in record time to raise money for Sam Beare Hospice in Woking. He completed the North Downs Way in just 1 day, 19 hours and 33 minutes, breaking the previous record. Leroy's incredible effort raised over £5,000 for the hospice, which provides palliative care for adults with terminal illness. It's truly inspiring to see dedication and determination. I didn't know about that, Leroy. The amount of money, I knew about the FKT, but I didn't know about the amount of money that raised. I'm curious, did the FKT come first and you thought, wow, this is a great way to raise some money, or did you want to raise some money and thought an FKT would really get people motivated to dig deep in their pockets?
Yes, well, it started off that a guy that I used to work for, he passed away of cancer, sadly. He'd done so much for me when I was younger, really gave me a chance and got me into plumbing. And obviously plumbers used to do lead work, and obviously I was very good at the lead work side. So he really gave me a chance, bought me a van, and really just pushed me on my way.
Oh.
And so I just wanted to give something back to him, you know?
Yeah.
Back to the people that looked after him in Sam Beare Hospice. I put up a page, and I thought, get the FKT as well. My friend Daniel goes, you can get the FKT for this as well. You get the FKT. I thought, well, why not two birds with one stone? Yeah. So, and that was it, you know. And lots of people muddled in and helped out. And my other half, she helped pace me. Lots of people from GTR helped pace me. So, and helped crewing. The crewing was such a big thing, as you know, with ultra running. Crewing's such a big thing, and everyone just mucked in. It was brilliant.
I used to live near Camberley and all that's kind of
okay,
part of the southeast. So where does it paint a picture for me? Where does it go from?
That.
So I start off in Boughton Leys, and then Boughton Leys you go up to Canterbury, and then Canterbury you go up from Canterbury you go to Dover. Dover, you come down to Folkestone to Y, and back down to Boughton Leys, and that's the loop.
Okay.
And then from then you head your way back Sevenoaks and head your way back to Farnham.
Is there any of it like waymarked? It's not a trail, is it? You just kind of piece together that route.
Yes, it is a trail, because it's a Saxton loop. It's like Saxton loop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's right, and you come around there, and then it's like you go onto like the North Downs Way.
Had you run a lot on the North Downs Way before?
Yeah, well, I'm not too far from that. My van is parked at Noonan's Corner every evening. After work, my van is parked at Noonan's Corner. Because there's loads of runners around here, and they take photos near my van. It's like, they're always here. Every evening. That's my training ground. That is my training ground. Because I can just go everywhere from there. I've got so many different routes, and it's free parking.
Oh. Well, that always helps. Yeah, I'm really curious about these FKTs. After you've done that one, have you planted the seed? Fancy any more?
I would like to do another one, but we'll see. There's a lot of planning in it, because obviously it's not that you do a race, you pay for your race, and that's it. It's all done. You just got to take your gear. But there's a lot of planning and making sure people can take the time off work as well to help you out and do it. You know? Yeah.
Do you find it difficult? I've never done an FKT, and like Gary, I'm curious about them. Did you find it difficult, like, to motivate yourself to keep moving because you're not in a race? Were you like, when your crew came, were you like, let's a little sit down, cup of tea? Because there's nobody coming. There's no like, oh my God, they've made up 30 minutes on me. Or were you quite like strict with the timing?
Yeah, but that's why I done it for a good cause. That's what kept me pushing. Dickie, who obviously sadly passed away, that's what kept me going.
Yeah.
You know,
you were like, he's not going to be impressed if I have a nap now. I've got to keep going.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I'm raising that money for the Sam Beare Hospice. That's what kept me going.
That is an enormous amount of money for you to raise, because I think charities or hospices like that, they're not. I imagine they don't get like a huge amount of donations and stuff. So to get that amount of money, that is really amazing.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? I think, was it when we spoke to Lucy Gossage after she did the spine the first time round, the money that was raised
paid someone's salary for a year, didn't it?
Basically, it made such a massive difference.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, you guys are such better people than us. Amazing. Amazing. What a privilege.
We'll get into the ARC in more detail. Don't want to know really about the race dates, but what's the atmosphere like? You're down there, there's multiple races going on, thousands of runners. Is it just wild? We
should just say that we're recording this, 48 hours post ARC, Leroy?
Yeah, 48 hours, yeah.
Leroy looks younger, fresher, more sprightly than Gary and I, but I am so gel. You look incredible. So whatever you're taking.
We don't record till about Wednesday after we've done a race, so you are doing well.
You probably push harder than me.
No way. Gosh, no way. Yeah, what was it like? Because it's the first year that UTMB have taken it over. So the media was very different. The tracking drove me mad because it wasn't on open tracking.
Right.
So it's really hard to track because it's not as detailed as the open tracking.
Right,
Open tracking, Leroy, because you tried to find me an alley. You can like zoom in so you can see exactly where the people are. But that UTMB one, you can't zoom, you can't see exactly where they are, and you can't see where everybody else is. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Am I right, Gary?
Well, I think it's just we're using it wrong. A friend of mine, Aaron, said you could go on open tracking too, so you could see everybody.
Don't tell me that, because I spent the whole weekend having to go and in and out of everybody.
I couldn't work it out. I couldn't work it out.
Okay, anyway. Sorry, Leroy.
No, that's
You're
fine.
back. Yeah, what was it like? What was the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere was great. It was amazing.
Don't worry, they're not listening, so you can slag them off if you want.
I really are, Kate. As you know, there were people saying, "Oh, they're going to mess it up," and blah blah blah, this and that. And if you want to progress in this running game, everyone's out. You want to stick at it. You need to make some money out of it. If you want to make a living, you need to make some money out of it, and that's it. You do, you know. You've got families to mouths to feed. It's just a little bit bitchy sometimes, isn't it? Just let everyone get on, do what they've got to do. And
it's easy to fire shots, Leroy. It's easy to fire shots.
So what was it like? We want to talk about your race, but did you notice there were people on the trails? Was it any different in the checkpoints?
The checkpoints there was more checkpoints, so you had to be really careful stopping off at checkpoints. Yeah. And with me, I'd done schoolboy era, they had knack there, and I used tailwind. Me being big, I thought I'd be fine. Take some knack. Stomach went really bad. No. So bad. So I was literally about 30 miles in, I had the runs. Really bad. And I thought...
And not the place on the coast path as well.
No.
Not the North Downs Way.
It's not at all, no. And I literally got to the toilet just in time at these times, and I just thought, well, honestly, it was so bad. I got to Penzance, and I used the toilet in there, and I was in the toilet, and I thought, please let no one be outside. Please let no one be outside. Honestly, because this has been so bad. I opened the door and there was no one outside. I literally put my stuff in there, and I just went.
Hey.
It wasn't good. I was coming out, and then my head torch went on me as well. But I had two head torches. I pressed the button on my head torch, and it was just going bright all the time. And I thought, this is not going to last.
No, that is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, this is not going to last. And then my other head torch, that's my own fault. I tried to scrape on a little bit of weight. So I didn't have the other batteries in there, but the other battery on my Phoenix one, you've got the two lights on there, don't you?
Oh,
and
yeah,
you've
baby.
got the fog light and the other light. So I've used the fog light, which is a smaller one, which uses less power. So I thought, excellent, brilliant. I'm in here. Got to Land's End, and I thought, obviously, because I have had the runs, I need to stock up on fuel because I'm literally, my body's depleted. Yeah. So I got there. I must have had about 7 slices of pizza. I had some cake in my drop bag. I shoved loads of cake down me. I just thought I just need calories. That was it. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, you're so happy. It's like, you just don't know what's going on in my world. So I got all that down me, and I just thought, hopefully my head torch lasts until the sun comes up. From Land's End to St Ives is quite a long stretch. I think it's about 20 miles or more. Yeah. It is, yeah. And then this guy said to me, it should be light in a few hours. You were like, I'm on fog mode. Yeah, exactly. The next minute, I'm running, the rain starts coming down, and then something's gone off my backpack. It's my alarm, isn't it? So obviously I've known it's 4:45 in the morning. So my alarm's gone off in my backpack, so I've had to take my backpack off. I thought,
stop it. Is that the time you get up in the morning? Yeah. Oi.
No, great. And it's just a hassle of taking my backpack off.
Yeah.
And I come in the motion that I'm moving, and then putting it back on again. I thought, do you know what? I can't have this. I've got to stop it. So I've swiped it. And obviously I haven't turned it off properly, so I put it back on. Another 10 minutes.
Gone to snooze, classic.
The alarm's gone off again. So I've had to go in the backpack and just switch the whole thing off. So, and apart from that, and then the next minute, the sun's come up, so which is really good. So that's one less thing I had to worry about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and from there, it got better. It got better.
Why, Leroy? You've got an alarm clock at 4:30 in the morning.
That's what time I get up for work, and that's what time I get up for training. So in the mornings, I'm a little bit of a tart. I like to get up, and I can put all my facial creams on and all that and everything.
I knew it, Leroy. I knew it. You are way too glossy.
What a regime. Sensational.
Yeah, talk us through the regime. Do you train before work then?
Depends. Sometimes I train after work. It depends what I'm doing. Depends how my day's planned or where I'm about and working.
Do you follow training plan? Do you have a coach? What does?
Do you know what? I for this arc, I didn't have a coach. I used a coach for the arc first time, and I always recommend for people to get a coach. Always. But I use my experience from having a coach because, and with me as well, I don't find it hard to get out and go running. Some people do need a coach.
Just for that, yeah.
Just for that. I don't need that. So I use my last few years plan for the arc and added more, and then just got up to like 100-mile weeks and bits and pieces and done that. Yeah. Did you know? And that's it. And topped up that and done gym stuff and then just tapered. Yeah. And that's it. And it worked. I have got Bigfoot, which I 200 this year, but I will use a coach for that. That's a whole different ball game.
I would love to go to one of those American 200s. Do you watch Sally McRae's videos on?
Yes. I think she's brilliant. Yeah. I love it.
And I was watching her. I've watched those. So I've just put them on the treadmill. I was watching her Cocodona 251 again, just because I just love her suffering. I just feel every bit of suffering, and I'm like, I'd love to go and do one of those big American. The landscape looks like.
Oh God, it's going to be
It looks like vast.
It does, yeah.
Amazing.
I think you get bears out there as well, don't you?
When is that?
That's in August.
Okay, is that your next thing?
That's my next one, yeah.
We can't let it go that you just mentioned your 100-mile weeks. Can you talk us through what a typical week looks like for you?
So basically on a Monday, I'll do an easy run plus strides. Tuesday, I'll do a gym session. Wednesday, I'll do a session, like a hill session. Wednesday and Thursday, I'll do a nice, easy run. Then Friday, I'll do a track session or a really hard speed session. And then at the weekends, I'll do two long back to back. That's good. That's good. That's enough.
And is there a community around this? Have you got like a group of friends that you train with?
Yeah. Well, lots of people that I go running with, and I interact with people off Instagram. So I'll have a run with you. And sometimes people can let you down and stuff like that. So I'm always happy to go running by myself. And if people come along, it's a bonus. And that's how I look at it, yeah.
Currently, I only do like one workout a week, and then I'm trying to do the double back-to-backs. But that extra workout, I think, I fancy slicing that.
But I think Leroy's got a little few less years than us, and now his bones.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're not a V50 yet. You're not a V50
yet.
Can we jump back into the arc? And that must be right at the front of your brain as well.
Sure.
Why did you choose to go back again to it?
Because that was my first 100-miler, so it was such a big race for me, such special. It's like, I always remember when I'd done my first 10-mile, I always remember that route is around Shearwater, an area around here. So when I'm want to get fit, I'll always go back and do that 10-mile.
Have you always been a runner, Leroy?
No, I used to do boxing. Years ago, I used to do boxing, yeah. I used to do boxing. I used to love to do boxing. And then I played squash. And then I just started running. Yeah. So I've always done sport.
Have you ever heard my honeymoon story about the squash games, Gary?
No, far away.
We didn't have any money when we got married. So we put it all on a credit card and we went to this very posh Mauritius. I can't remember when it was then. He's in the next door room. We went to Mauritius for a week for our honeymoon. And we realised when we got there that we weren't those like lying, it was really like you lie and you put your flag in the sand and you get your drinks and stuff. And we were like slightly like that for the first day. We were like, well, this is fun. And then we were like, oh, we need to do something. I had this lovely spa, which we didn't use at all, but it had a squash court, this like open glass squash court, which I don't think anyone used. Anyway, we found the squash court, found the squash rackets. I kept a little honeymoon journal. We played 53 games of squash over a week.
Wow.
Incredible.
We had to have one day off because I got such bad blisters in the palm of my hand because I couldn't hold the racket. We played 53 games. My husband won 52 and I won 1. Anyway, I love squash. Okay, so sorry. You went from boxing, fast feet, squash. You must have been sensational then at squash with your fast feet and your fitness.
I was, yeah. I used to run around the court a lot. I used to get a lot of the balls back, yeah.
Get any more.
And lost the tooth as well.
Oh,
is that
no.
from squash, not from boxing?
No, that's from squash, yeah. But whacked with the racket. And that tooth is a false tooth.
You could have told us a really good boxing story there and be like, I was down the ring against Bernie Big Pause. So then where did running then come in?
I just went to Woking Athletics track. We just started from there. And I used to do some of the track stuff, but then I used to like doing the trail stuff for some of the old guys because I could just have a really good old conversation. They used to like tell me some really good stories and stuff. And then I remember the High Wycombe half marathon, and I didn't do any hill training at all, and it was so hilly.
It's so hilly, isn't it?
Really, yeah. High Wycombe half. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God, yes.
Your quads.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'd done nothing like that at all. But I'd done an hour and 20 minutes. So I was quite happy. I was young anyway. I was young, yeah. So, but yeah, I was happy with that. But yeah, it was, I couldn't believe how hilly it was.
From there, where did you hear about ultra running?
From ultra running, you listen to, like, you go to YouTube, you listen to bits and pieces, then you go to different clubs and you mix with people. And then that's it. I just got into trail running. And then you obviously moved to Surrey, and then just do lots of clubs, and then you've got North Downs, and that's it. You just sort of get into it, and then you just realise what other people are doing. You hear from other people like, oh, I'm doing this race, like I'm doing like a 50K. Yeah. It's like 50K? And it's like, you get so scared. It's like 50K, it's like, oh my God, no. they're serious, they're big time. I can't go near to them. 50K is like crazy. But then, you know, I'll do 50K for a training run now. Do you know what I mean?
I love it when you go from, I don't think I could do that, to thinking, yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you think running clubs might start to ban ultra runners? Because you get one ultra runner in a running club and it dilutes everybody. And then before they all know it, they're all sucked in.
No.
They're all like, oh, yeah, no, let's not bother with that 10-mile tempo. Let's just go and run lovely 50K on the trails, eating snacks.
Yeah. Because I know a few people are like, okay, should we have a day out on a Sunday? We just put our backpacks on and just go out for a 50K run. Do you know what I mean? It's nice. It's in the weather's nice. It's just like a nice day out.
I mean, I'm really curious because second time on the Arc, what was your goal for that race? Is it all about the bling, the gold buckle?
I wanted to do sub 24.
Oh, okay.
On this time, the conditions were really bad, but that's the Arc, so I can't really use that as an excuse. First time I done it, the conditions were really good. My prep going into it, not the training, I would say my nutrition prep going into it wasn't. I took things a bit too much for granted, really. You know, as a schoolboy era, I should know not to use NAC if I haven't used them in my training. That's just silly, isn't it?
The day in, day out nutrition is sensational. I've seen you over on Instagram cooking up a storm.
Yeah. But it's totally different when you're when you're running 100 miles, though, isn't it? We got a picture, you know. And the first time I done the Arc, it was different. You had crew. At crew point. So basically, people pass my bottles. That's it, I was just going. So basically, I was taking tailwinding all the time. I'm sipping calories and eating food. I was going literally sometimes 2 hours without having anything decent calories in me.
Oh,
and on 100 miles, that's a lot. That can really
you're quite, from what I can remember, in the North Downs way, dark fog, you're quite a big guy, Leroy, as well. You need your calories.
I need my calories, yeah. I need my calories, exactly that, I need my calories,
What was the course like in the north? Eddie can tell you where she was. The weather was horrendous on that Friday. Your forecast was a little bit kinder, but how did it play out on the trails?
It wasn't too bad, but there was about half an hour of really treacherous rain, and literally just got drenched. But it basically most of the courses, a lot of it was bog until you got to St Ives. It was pretty good then.
You were the first people to go, though, weren't you? So we can't even.
The first wave, yes,
that a lot of people had gone through, but it looks like you really progressed. Like you jumped places massively on the tracker. Got a story behind it?
Yeah.
Did you purposely start a little bit nearer the back of that wave?
Yes, I did, because everyone gets excited, don't they? I know you're going to catch up with them. I was running with my friend. He hadn't done it before. I said, let them go. We're doing 100 miles. The Arc's an evil race. Those hills will burn them out and we'll catch up with them. Don't you worry about that. And you pass them all. You learn that from experiences, you know. So, and then a lot of people I was overtaking, and then after a while, you just sort of back and forth a little bit, aren't you? But, I don't think I didn't come in a too bad place. So
I'm going to flex for you, Leroy. Lizard's Point, 154. Port 11, 131. Then you went to 97, 71, 65.
Wow, okay.
Then it was 67, but you went down to 63. 57, 52, 51, you progressively were going past people all raced. Yeah, what you see on there maybe not be the tail from the trails, but it looks sensational there. How was that then? Did you feel like you were
passing? Yeah, what's your
Yes, I
passing?
did. Do you know what? I always, because you see people's red lights. So I start playing the game and I think, right, okay, I'm going to catch them up. And that's what I do. I'm going to catch them up, take that one out. That's excellent. Take that one out. Lovely. Take that one out. Yeah, take them out. And that's, just take them out. And that's what you do. You're on there for a long time, so you need to start playing stuff in your head, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You know.
Do you have a chat? Are you like, hi, how you doing?
I do. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, we do it. And then sometimes some people be moody and think, right, I need to get away from you because you're going to lose, dampen my spirits, do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hi, how you doing? He goes, oh, I'm feeling really down. Okay, yeah, see you later. Bye.
See ya.
I always do. Do you want to run with me for a bit? And normally you get back. So you're like, well, I've offered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
but it's cool if you come up to people and they're full of energy. You're like, right, let's get that for a little bit.
Yeah, let's get that. Yeah, because there was some guy. He was plodding along nicely. As long as you're doing a steady pace, you're moving in time. You could be doing like 12-minute mile, which is okay, which is nice. You know what I mean? On that terrain, it's like, do you want to get past me? I was like, no, you stay in front because I can use him as a pacer. You see, so I let him burn his energy up.
And you can use their light as well if they
exactly
just
that. Yes,
you can just turn the brain off, follow their feet for a little bit. Yeah. Like, drives me mad because I run with a lot of the men when I'm in the position of the field and they come up and I'm like, or I catch them up and then they lock onto my pace right behind me and I'm like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not bad.
Yeah.
How was running through the night? Any sleep demons? Any hallucinations?
I was fine during the night. I was fine. My most worry is my head torch. That was my biggest problem. I thought if my head torch ran out, I'm in doo-doo street, you know?
Yeah. And your phone was in your backpack, so no music, nothing?
No, I don't run with music, no.
Never? Your own thoughts?
Yeah, my own thoughts, yeah.
That is big.
Raw dogging, love it.
We don't
really?
Any distraction for us too.
Yeah.
I don't mind racing without any noise, but training, I don't. Yeah. I love training to music. As a podcast host, I don't actually listen to podcasts much when I'm running. Then I start standing on gates and not listening to not running because I start listening to them. But I love running to music. It just gives me like, it's the only time I get charged of my Spotify account as well because I've got teenagers, so I can just so no music. That's good. Yeah, I raw dogged the 100 up.
Apart from like chasing lights through the night, was there anybody in particular? Was there like a mini race within the big race? Did anyone you had your eyes on?
There was this guy called Christoph. He's he does some YouTube stuff, and he said he wanted to do a sub 24. Obviously, he wasn't going to get sub 24. Yeah, I thought, I want to beat him. Yeah, and I did.
I wonder if he watches.
Yeah, watches. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that before 24. Do you think you'll go back and have another crack at it?
I don't know. There's other races out there. I want to do Lakeland. Definitely want to do Lakeland. I want to do some more mountainous stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And that's why I chose Bigfoot 200 because I train on like the North Downs. You got South Downs. They are similarly the same, really. So I thought if I want to do a 200, I want something that's going to like really like. I want to be like, wow. I don't want to sort of get to find and think, oh God, I know this area. I want something that's going to give me I want something that's going to give me a boost.
Is that at altitude?
Yes, it is. Yes, but it's one of the less ones. So what I'll have to do before is probably, because it's too far to go and record the course. What I'll do, I'll probably just go to somewhere like Austria or go to Italy before and get that really big elevation in, do you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
It's not far to go.
Working holiday.
Yeah,
go and see the lead. See if they can put any do any like sideline work out there. Take your van. Anyone?
Get your name in that for Lakeland 100 though, Leroy. That is sensational. For I've been to Wales. I've run on those mountains. Not for the UTS course. I've never done a race in Scotland yet. Actually, that would be sensational. But yeah, for England, Lakes Districts, got it all. And you're in a bit athlete, so it's kind of in the back door for your brand.
You do the lakes. You do the Lake Lanes quite a bit, don't you? The lakes.
Yeah, the fell races over there. We went to the Moors actually at the weekend, and we all were like, "Why did we just neglect the North Yorkshire Moors?" And we had an absolutely sensational day. But most of the time, it's literally jump in the car, get 4 or 5 of us together, and we're off to the lakes. But
Because of the service stations, isn't it?
that did come up. The comment was the Moors cafes are not. They're not a patch on the Lake District's cafes. Yeah, but yeah, if you can get. I'll be in trouble now next time I go to Osmotherley or something. But yeah, put your name in the hat because it's super hard to get in the Lake 100. If you can get in, that would be sensational.
Should we talk about kit? You mentioned then you're an Innovate.
Yeah.
You're an Innovate athlete. What were you wearing? What was good? What was bad?
The trainers there, I wore the Muttalons for the Arc, which were really good.
Enough cushioning?
I would say... You're smiling.
Just need a little bit more,
a little bit more cushioning could have been done, yeah. A little bit more cushioning could have been done.
Because the Arc is a really tricky one.
Yes, it is, because you've got that road sections and stuff, yes.
And you are actually on quite a lot of rock, aren't you, as well? So
exactly that, yeah.
You almost need a go-go gadget shoe that you could go at the cushion.
Do you know what? You hit the nail right on the head. That's so true. It really is, yeah. And near the last section, it's like there's a lot of flat running.
You just need a little bit more kickback.
Yeah.
Like, I just do. Come on, trainer, work with me.
Yeah.
Then you sacrifice the grip, don't you? Which I imagine.
And I think I'm glad I went with the Muttalons because it was so muddy. They helped me. But then it's like, and the rocks are so slippery as well. When it's wet, so slippery. You couldn't move that fast on them. I couldn't anyway, because I just haven't got that down this area to practice, that sort of running on this. So I just had to be careful.
What backpack did you have on?
I had a 20 litre.
Did you? You had the new one?
Yeah, the new one, which is, because at first I had the large and I didn't need the large. I needed a medium, so it was quite nice and top. It still was a little bit bouncy.
But it doesn't feel like a 20 litre.
No.
It looks like a more 15 litre, but
yeah,
I get what you mean about the if it's not
bounce.
Full. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is with you have to carry so much stuff. My shoulders were killing me. They were killing me. Yeah. You have to carry so much stuff. Like a compass. And I know it's just It was funny because I was in the queue. I said to the guy, I hope you know how to read the compass so he can give you a test when you get in there. He goes, oh, really? Oh, I said, well, yeah, if you don't do the test, you ain't going to do the race, mate. He's like, oh, no. Just started laughing.
What about your jacket? People always ask me what waterproof jacket I'm wearing.
The thing is, with a waterproof jacket, it's like you're going to sweat in it no matter what. What jacket you got, you're gonna sweat. So that's the last thing you put on, isn't it? Your waterproof jacket, because that's what happened to me the first time when I've done the Arc. So I didn't have any experience. So I had my waterproof. I was really cold. I had my waterproof jacket on. So what was happening? I was getting really dehydrated, sweating, and then getting cold. So I was keeping it on, and I wasn't getting enough electrolytes in. It's all learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
But and then I was near the end. I got back to the hotel room, and my other half Nick was saying, are you okay? I was just literally shivering like that. Literally just shivering. And she goes, I'm calling the ambulance. I said, no, I'm fine. Just give me some pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza. Get some food down. Get some cold pizza. And I was fine. I was literally, because I didn't even take my clothes off or anything. I had my running clothes off and literally just jumped straight back into bed. I did not care. I stunk. I didn't care. I had to keep warm. I was like, as soon as I had that pizza, I got some food down me. And the next morning, I was okay. Honestly, I was up to the ceremony the next day. It's amazing. A lot of it's down to food, isn't it? Some of it. If you put the training in.
Was it Mike Parsons? He came on the podcast and he mentioned about sometimes when you're cold, eat something because then that gets the metabolism going.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything in life.
Yeah.
Just eat something.
Just eat something. Yeah. When I done my 153 and when I got to the end, because near Farnham it floods there. My feet went into obviously there's the golf course there and it floods really bad. My feet got wet and I said to my sister, because she was pacing me for the last bit, I said, I don't think I can carry on. My feet were absolutely killing me. I know I weren't going to do it, but my feet was absolutely killing me. It's obviously because I was cold and I've run all those miles. My body's depleted. But, as soon as I got back to the car, I was shoving some food down me. I was fine. And I said to Nick, I said, have you changed your bed sheets? She goes, no. I said, well, I'm going upstairs to change your bed sheets. Don't clean bed sheets. Sleeping. So it just shows you, I've run 153 miles and I can still go upstairs and change bed sheets.
Yeah.
so
that takes me about 3 weeks. I always have to do the whole bed sheet wash before a big race because I'm like, I'm not walking up and downstairs the laundry for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What watch did you use for the Arc?
Oh, right. I got the new Enduro 3.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know what? It's an amazing watch. I charged it. I charged it up, and it's got 21 days on it still. And I was flipping about with it and all that and everything. And it's still, I could probably do another 200 miles on it. Honestly, yeah, it's really good.
Is it that one? Is it the same as? Mine's an
I don't know. I think they just do it black.
I think it's only in black. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
literally ordered that
Gary.
yesterday. Yeah, I ordered
Which
it.
one? What, the Enduro 3?
Yeah. So
Yes. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Really good watch.
You kept that quiet from me, Leroy. You didn't run that past me, did you?
Do you know what? The only reason I bought it because my old watch, I had the Fenix 6X, and it was just old. And then the maps on it was absolutely crap. It was rubbish. So I thought, well, if the Ark's not signposted, I'm going to need a better watch. I forked out and got a better watch. I could have held off. Obviously, January is a tight month for everybody. But anyway, it's signposted, isn't it? But it doesn't matter. I'm going to use it anyway.
The maps are so much better on it, aren't they? The maps is brilliant on it.
Yeah,
screen is bigger.
Good. Especially with the arrow things going, yeah, it's so much better. Really good. Yeah, like the Fenix, this is brilliant, yeah. And it's funny because it's actually cheaper than the Fenix 8, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it. That's what I was going to say. If people are in the market for a watch, and I know the flagship, where they have the quite a few really super expensive Garmins, but the Fenix, wow, that's over $1,000 if you get the top.
Over $1,000, yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I looked at the Enduro 3 and just with the epic battery life. I think the Fenix has cellular connectivity, so you can take a telephone call on it if you've got your phone with you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't need any of that.
Yeah. I'll have the battery life, please. Yeah, exactly that.
But I was texting all my mates. Anybody had any discount codes? I had to pay a full $1.
Garmin are hard to find the discount codes, aren't they?
Yeah, I asked them a couple of people from Innovate, but Garmin are very hard to get any codes. They're like Apple, aren't they? You know, they're at the top, aren't they?
I even got my daughter, Esme.
What did you do?
They have this thing called Totem and Uni Days, where basically students can get discounts on all these brands, and I saw Garmin was listed.
That's right, yes, yeah.
No chance.
Not the Enduro, I've tried that as well. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Excellent. Did it deliver? Did the Arc deliver? I know you've done it once before, but yeah, did you come away satisfied?
I did. I came away satisfied. It was good. There's a few little iggly bits in there, but like you can't please everybody. Do you know what I mean? You can't please everybody. At the end of the day, I got there, done what I had to do, and it was their first event, the Arc, obviously with my crew. Do you know what I mean? And you go on these forums and people go on there and
my God.
Do you know what I mean? And it's always funny because from anonymous people.
Yeah.
So it's just like, God, you just got to start laughing.
I think Tom Evans did everybody a favour by taking his shoe off at the finish line, and that picture seems to have done the rounds much more than anything else.
Yeah.
Of some funny things being said about that.
Yeah. I see him run past me, actually. I was like, wow.
Did you not hang with him for a bit? Did you not try and match his pace for a few meters? I think there's races out there for everybody. You can do. My only worry with this whole people kind of clambering to do UTMB is if it's at the expense of maybe a smaller race, so people they invest their money and their time in the UTMB, and maybe a local low-key event just kind of goes bust because they don't have the numbers to support it anymore. So there's a worry from that point of view, but fundamentally, I hope there is something there for everybody, and you just don't have to do it. You can go and do a local 100-miler.
This is it, yeah. You
don't have to go. Hardmoors on my doorstep. The Trail Outlaws do a lovely 100k up in Northumberland. You go over the lakes. There's loads of stuff going on over there. You do not have to.
That's right. You've still got Centurions race. They're great races to do. Still, you know, they're really good.
Is UTMB on your list, Leroy?
Yes, it is, because I've got 4 stones now. I would have 4 stones.
Yeah, so is that why? I don't know how many. I don't have.
I don't know. I still don't understand these stones.
Okay, should we have a look?
The more stones you have,
the more stones you get. Okay,
yes, it's the better chance that you've got to enter these races.
Oh, they don't expire. They don't expire.
They don't expire.
They don't expire. Rolling stones are cumulative and don't expire. So the more you have, the better your chance of winning the lottery and entering those. I'm sure they do expire, but Mr. Google says that they don't. Someone will come at us. But you need to do a 100-mile race, don't you? And now you've got your 4 stones. So now when the ballot comes around in December, you can enter that you'd like to do UTMB.
Yes.
You must have at least one stone. So you're up there now with your 4.
Yeah, you're
well, 4,
guaranteed.
Yeah. I think over the Arc you get 4, yeah. But then I wouldn't mind entering the Western States either as well.
Yeah. Well,
you see, so I can enter there, yeah.
Plans for the rest of the year, is it just Bigfoot 250? Is that the...
That's it, just Bigfoot, and that'd be enough for me. That's just too much fun and too much on the body with work and everything else. And want a bit of free time just to, because it's not just doing the race, it's doing the training, isn't it? You've got to put the work in. You have to. I don't care. Anyone says, if you don't put the work in, you get on that start line.
And the recovery.
Will you take
And the
crew out
recovery,
with
exactly that. Sorry?
Crew out with you? Because you can have pacers as well, can't you?
Yes, I've got, have you heard of, do you know Scott Jenkins? No, he's done it before, Bigfoot.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, yes, I'm not silly. And Susie Chan will be coming with me as well.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, that is a great crew then. You've got knowledge, experience.
Yes,
Ain't no
exactly.
prisoners. Bit of laughing.
Exactly that, yeah. Because it's literally just going out there, just completing and getting round. It's experience, yeah.
I think even in Western States, I've heard that they have pacers over there. So for international races who wouldn't normally have a crew, you can kind of dip into local people.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, they've got forums and you can go on there and do that.
I think we should suggest that to Centurion and be like, offer your services for people that don't have crew. Say, I'll crew you to the back end. I'm not sure I'd want someone I didn't know. A really perky American coming.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're really jumpy, aren't they? Their aid stations are meant to be really good, though, aren't they? The amount of food they put on, bacon and all sorts, meant to be really good.
Sally's always talking about like burgers and slushies and stuff, and I'm like, you don't get that in the North Downs way. This sounds incredible.
Well, Candy's because Destination Trails, isn't it?
Oh, it's at Candy Spurt's race.
Yes. So her other half approached me to see if I wanted to give me any some training, one-to-one training. So I was like, right, okay, I'll go for that then.
Oh, we love to hear when you've done it. Will you come back and tell us? Because there's nothing like, a 100-miler is incredible. When you go in the 200s and you become that multiple night.
Yes.
There is something about that which is just like...
There is. Not being a snob or nothing, but the 100-milers coming like the marathon now, isn't it?
Oh, Leroy, it was all going so well.
It's a tagline for you now on the Instagram. Not being a snob, but I think it's pretty easy now.
I suppose because I guess because I'm doing trail running, I know lots of people are doing.
It becomes your norm. We always talk about that, don't we? That like you surround your people with.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Yeah.
And
not
you're
my
like,
normal.
they're just like, oh,
it's not my normal. How many people on the start line? Because I think on the States they're quite faithful. There's rules. You couldn't just have thousands on that start line.
I think there's for the Bigfoot. I think there might be about 600.
Okay, I'm sure there's something in their constitution, something to do with the national parks to limit.
Right.
How many people can be in the race? You could sell out Western States, like the waiting list. So the people that enter Western States, like 10,000 people, but only a few hundred actually start the race.
This is going to disappoint you, Leroy. It is 100 to 150 runners.
Whoa!
Wow!
Ooh, wow! You're going to spend some good quality alone time there.
Oh God, I think I might need some headphones then.
You might get some headphones.
No.
Use the code T10, Leroy. £10 off.
Headphones. Definitely some headphones. Oh my God! Because do you know what? I entered it because I've always wanted to do the race, and I entered it, and I'm sitting down. The next minute, ping! The money's gone out of my account. I thought, oh right. I'm doing this. I can't believe. Yeah, I'm doing it. Do you know? And that's I was just like,
I think it's a perfect progression for you. I love the idea of you.
Going
to do a big American. You're gonna be. They're gonna love you out there, and you're gonna love it. And then come back and do the Winter 200.
Oh, well, do you know what? I actually would do the Winter 200. Yeah, I would. I would like to do that.
Because also you'd be like, just when the body cracks, you get to Farnham and you'd be like, home turf.
Home turf, yeah, true story, yeah.
Bring it home, and then you're home within a minute when you finish. Get those bed sheets changed into bed.
I love it. Yeah, well, best of luck with all that. Should we do the quick five?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okie dokie. Yeah, Eddie and I, we're going to turn up at your work, Leroy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna rustle us up? What's your signature dish?
I like steak with some tuna and loads of veg.
So sorry. Some cow with some tuna.
Yeah,
Surf and turf.
Not tuna. Sorry, salmon. Sorry, salmon.
Oh,
salmon.
That's better.
Yeah, salmon. Sorry, salmon. Yeah, salmon. Tuna.
You're mixing just a big load of portion of meat.
A lot of protein.
Meat, yeah, and just basically some pat choy and some broccoli, lovely, and some cooked tomatoes, nice.
Any
Honestly,
sauce in there?
Huh?
Any
Horse?
sauce in there? Sauce.
Sauce? I thought you said horse. I was like, what?
Surprise me, Leroy. You put your cow in, you put your salmon, you put your tuna.
Do you know what? I'm not
little
a big
bit of
person on sauce. All I like is just, I buy the Celtic salt, put a little bit out of that over it. So I find, you know what, if you buy a nice, good quality meat or fish, you don't need to put too much salt.
Speaks for
sauce on it.
itself.
You're just killing the food.
Yeah.
You know, the taste, should I say? Yeah, the food's already gone.
I'll bring my salad cream then, and I'll just won't
Really?
let you
No
see when I
way. You
squirt.
can't
Yeah,
bring a
you're
salad
so
cream.
disappointed.
Bit of ketchup.
Leroy.
No, tomato sauce. No way.
Ketchup and everything.
Condiment.
Yeah.
I know, I love it.
Last film you watched or you remember watching?
Do you know what? I watched Paddington. I took my daughter. We went to go and watch Paddington, and I fell asleep. And I was, because I was training for, the arc. So I was doing a back-to-back run. She's like, right, Dad, okay, yeah, clearly you're going to fall asleep. I was falling asleep. I was snoring so loud.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Paddington. That was the last film.
Oh, I love a little snooze in the cinema.
I
Oh,
love a
it's
cinema
great.
snooze, but I do find it almost too loud now. So you have to choose the right film, because if it's too
Yeah.
much action, it wakes you up. But
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
film,
I went to see Nosferatu last night, Saturday night, the Dracula film.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, it's incredible.
No,
Absolutely.
was it?
No
Was
sleeping
it
through
scary?
that. No sleeping
was
through
it
that one.
scary?
Yeah.
No. Lisa went to see it. She is not a fan of horror.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
That was great. Yes.
I'll tell you what, we have been watching Black Dove. Black Dove's really good.
Oh, Netflix. Yeah,
yeah,
we
really
binged
good.
that.
Black Dove. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. Can't be running. How would you pass the time on a day off?
Oh, would I pass the time of day off? I'd wake up in the morning. I'd go for a run. As soon as I've been for a run.
Hang on a minute.
You're not allowed
Said
to
you
go running.
can't be running.
You're not allowed to go
Oh,
running.
it can't be running. Oh,
No.
I would. I don't know. My day. That's how my day usually starts.
Yeah.
Would you run
Yeah,
every
it's-
day?
That's yeah. Or
we
I'll go
need
to the
need
gym.
to work
I'll
this
have
out a
I'll
bit.
have a
Need to
steam
work-
room and then come back and then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Here
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
can do
Yeah.
it.
Wow. I run a lot, don't I? Oh, yeah.
I like starting my day off with a run. When I have a rest day or whatever, it does throw my whole body. I'm like,
It does.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Even like breakfast, I'm like, oh, this isn't as fun.
Just calibrates the day, I think. a run.
It
Calibrates
does, isn't
me,
it?
sets me. I've had my fresh air, and then I can hobble around for the rest of the day.
I find the Saturday morning run's the best. After a long week at work, Saturday morning run, just running out with some friends is great. Just starts the weekend so nice. Everyone just finishes that run, even just going out for a nice little 10K. Everyone just finishes. Everyone's just buzzing, aren't they? Ready to start their day. You know.
You must be pumped though. If you're up super early doing your run, literally, and you've done it before most people have woke up. That's an incredible feeling.
It is really nice. And then you're driving along, you think, that's a bit late then, run, isn't it? And obviously, sometimes about 7 o'clock, you think, oh, God, really? I wouldn't even bother. But you think,
Over. Day is done.
I love seeing other runners, no matter when it
it
is.
is, yeah.
I just love seeing other people run.
It is
See,
nice.
I play
isn't it?
I
Yeah.
play the game with the kids. I'm like, what do you think? Easy run, recovery run. Always
Yeah.
doing his tempo. Or he started too fast, doesn't he? He's
Yeah,
suffering now. He's suffering now.
Sometimes when you're out for a run though, and you might just be jogging along, but somebody's doing a session and you overlap and you try and hang with them for a little bit and you think, no, do not get involved in their workout. That's dangerous. Well, you mentioned a few races, so we can't include those. But yeah, other than those, a bucket list race. What would your bucket list race be?
My bucket list,
Or
right.
FKT. Could be an FKT.
I wouldn't mind doing Bob Graham.
Oh,
Is that like, Bob Graham? Is that, yeah. Wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah.
I'll crew you. I'll pay you
Yeah.
for a
Hit
leg.
us up. Hit us
Yeah.
up if you're gonna do that.
I'll do
Yeah.
leg 5, the glory
Definitely
leg.
wouldn't mind doing
Yeah, I was
Bob
gonna.
Graham.
I was gonna go.
Yeah. Have you guys done that, Bob Graham?
Yeah.
Gary is parts of his soul are on that.
One,
Really?
blood, skin, the lots on
Yeah.
that route. Yeah, and even in my friend group, there's 2 people, some heavy pencil on September. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll be.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Can't wait. Every week we share the podcast over on Instagram. You get to choose the Instagram story music. Leroy, what's it going to be?
It will be Kings of Leon, Reverie.
Kings of Leon. Oh, what album's that off? Because album 1 I thought was fantastic, and
That's with, it's like a green cover. Fire in my bones and the feelings of kerosene. Oh, I love this one.
Leroy, you've got some sweet pipes there. You should.
Oh, yeah. Want a good thing?
You don't need music for your 250. You just can do some swinging.
Excellent. We can make that happen. Well, thanks for your time tonight,
Excellent.
Leroy.
Yep.
It has been a blast, an awesome job on that gold buckle. And yeah, we'd love to have a chat with you again later in the year after your 200 miler in the States.
I reckon 2 days after. Perfect.
Yeah,
just see how your skincare regime is.
I'll be this chirpy.
We're really grateful for you to give us straight out. We were hoping for you to be a little bit more broken so that we could sort of take you down a bit. But
yeah.
You're absolutely on fire. What an inspiration to lots and lots of people on the trails with your positivity and bringing your light. And thanks for coming out in the North Downs Way at the end of my... Sorry, I wasn't friendly.
No, that's fine. It's not a problem.
We'll make a date. We'll do it again. Best of luck. Yeah, best of luck with your prep for that 250. I will look forward to seeing on Instagram what sort of stuff you're going to be up to. Gosh, what sort of volume you're going to...
Lots of weight training, put it that way.
Yeah, I love it.
I'd be curious what the coach, because you're self-coach now, but when you have got a coach, maybe they'll be kind of you winding you down from those 100-mile weeks. It'd be interesting.
I think they might be, actually, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Best of luck with everything. Best of luck with the recovery, and thanks so much
cheers,
for giving
thank
up
you.
your time for us tonight.
Excellent. Cheers. Thank you so much, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Take
Cheers.
care. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye.
Good luck with Bigfoot 200. We can't wait to hear all about it. And thank you so much for giving up your time 2 days post 100. Wow. He was
fresh.
full of beans. He was fresh. He needs to do my post-race interviews. He's brought a lot more energy than Eddie post-race.
Stoked to have Harriet Trail Running as our Strava Club and Tales from the Trail sponsor. Harriet is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproof, poles and other trail essentials at the Harriet Run Free website, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use code TEA10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. First up is Jade Barrett. Arc of Attrition for Jade sounded like a tough day, but she overcame everything to get to the finish and the buckle. 104.4 miles for the week. 104.4 miles, longest run. Yeah, normally people do a few miles during the week, but not Jade. Boom, straight in, one and done. 17,615 feet of vert too. Next up, Neil Cornelius. Back-to-back 20-mile plus days for Niels. He's a happy stride wearer too. Have you seen these happy stride shorts? People love them and they're very faithful to them. It is a strong look. And I'm not throwing stones. My previous fashion choices are very questionable. With 63.3 miles for Neil, 23-mile longest run, 3,179 feet of vert. Carolyn Duncan, last but not least, request to follow Carolyn. So yeah, can't really share what you've been up to, but either way, yeah, 69.2 miles of the week, 21-mile longest run, 5,868 feet of vert. Heavy flex time, really keen to give our Basil. Do you say, in the north, I'll refer to my sisters as our Hayley, our Dawn, our Diane, but I'll go my mum and my dad.
Oh, well, I'm not really from the north, Gary, so...
Regionally, how does it move around the country? Would you refer to your sisters as our, like...
pain in the asses. It's a definitely northern thing, isn't it? I just call my sisters.
But if I go, see, this is a crazy thing with how much accents and little words shift. If I went, say, 8 miles south to kind of Middlesbrough, Darlington, that area, I'm pretty sure people go, our mum, our dad.
Yeah, I love it. I love the people, I think I've said this before, the people that are the accent, like they can tell when you're talking where you've lived. They can tell all the different places. They can pick up, tones of accents. I love all that. My kids are hilarious because of the bilinguality in their lives. They pick up languages really quickly, but they pick up the accents really quickly. And when they're playing their sports with some very Scottish accents, and I hear them, and I'm like, they just copy the accent, and I'm like, this is, or they're talking to their new Scottish friends. They will speak in a Scottish accent. I don't even think they realise that they're doing it. I love it.
People used to think I was American. When I went backpacking, Lisa and I went backpacking for about a year. We spent 6 months in Australia, and I lived down south before we went travelling, so my accent was not as it is now. But when we came back to England, we moved back up north, people thought I was, not everybody, but people.
Who is this exotic guy? Where are you from?
Heavy flex, my goodness me, we have sidetracked. Really keen to give our Basil a shout out for a heavy flex. He just finished the Arc 100, but only days after he finished the full spine, and that only after he had done the Winter Downs 200. I think he's the only person who has ever pulled off something like that. Smiley emoji. What you guys don't know is that he also attempted Copthorne 200. Only one person finished that race, and the Cheviot Goat before those two. Cheviot Goat did get cancelled, but he still went out on a long run. He is a trooper and an absolute legend. Lots of trail love to you both. Shirin, Persian Pursuits on Instagram. That sounds really exotic.
We had a couple of shout outs for Andrew. There's another one here. This is from Matt. My wife and I are regular listeners and love the show, from the general chat to epic stories of the trails. Catching up every week feels like sitting around the table with friends. I just wanted to write in to shout out someone who perhaps you know, perhaps you don't, Andrew Heaney. My wife and I were sitting next to Andrew at the St Agnes Hotel for breakfast. As I was fizzing with anticipation, ahead of my first 100-miler, Andrew tucked into a full English, reading his book, calm as he liked. We had a short chat about our hopes for the race when he casually mentioned that a finish is good enough for him, as he just finished the spine. Wow. Being a bit nosy, I followed him on the Live Trail app and saw that he'd not only finished, but he'd also done the Winter Downs 200. An absolute superhero and inspiration. Guys?
Just slipped it in. Just done the spine.
Slipped it in. There I go. Drop that one back in. And you can jump back into Spotify, search up Andrew Heaney, and you'll find he has been on the podcast. And he is, as you both alluded to, a wonderful human being, mad as a hatter, but wonderful.
All the way back, episode 46.
Oh, you know them all off by heart. You've got them tattooed down your arm.
If you know someone who has flexed, or maybe you've been flexing, please let us know. This is your opportunity to big up a mate or yourself. Email hello@teaandtrails.com and pop heavy flex as the subject.
Are you excited? Poor Gary every week says to me, can we plan what we're going to say? Can we plan what we're going to say? We should start by saying this is a race that is not organised by Gary or I. We are working in collaboration with Area Events. They are in charge of all the planning, delivering the race and the pricing. We realise that because our names are because we're headlining the event, lots of questions are coming to us about the event. Firstly, send them all to Gary, because I'll never have time. No, I'm joking. If you have got any questions, really specific questions, of course you're going to have questions. Libby, who is in charge of doing all the administration, who is an incredible runner herself, and a great person, she's done a great job with the webpage. There are a lot of details over there on the event, but if you have got any questions about the event, send them over there. There's contact details as well on the webpage that you can find.
I would hate to give you misinformation, so probably
we wouldn't
best.
Want to give you miss a question and then people go, you've not replied, because so if there is any questions, we are really looking forward to being at the event and meeting everybody. What a great opportunity this is, but we are not involved in any of the administration. So if you have got any questions, queries, complaints, send them to Area Event. We are going to get Shane on the podcast next week because there's been a few discussions going on the Facebook group. Gary and I have an unwritten contract. Do we, Gary? Do you reckon with each other that we don't get involved in...
Don't engage.
We don't engage in any conversations because...
I don't think Facebook is the forum for it. I've seen many a Facebook debate from well-natured people with positive comments, but descend into chaos sometimes.
Yeah, and also I pop onto Facebook to look at the Facebook page maybe once a day, and then come away and you don't know then what's happened and stuff. So if people are putting stuff on Facebook, but we do want to, you're welcome to put whatever your thoughts are on the race, on anything like that. Feel free. We are not going to, we're not going to edit or delete any comments or make any comments back. We're also not those sort of people that I would never want my words to be, and I think words can be misconstrued on social media as well. So I'm always like, and always, if ever I have a difficult conversation to have with an athlete or a friend, anything, I'm always like, just pick up the phone, because often a face-to-face conversation is the better way. Anyway, if you want,
well, that's why Facebook usually is the place for that kind of forum, because you can't gauge somebody's tone by a comment. A lot can be misconstrued over there, but there are some questions that we can address. Appreciate, yes, there's thousands of people in that Facebook group, and what one person thinks is good value for money, somebody thinks, no, that's super expensive, I just can't afford that. And if that is you, I totally get it. But there are ways that you can be involved with the RIA events. If you want to do this race, they have a volunteering program where you then earn credits for future races. So if you think, my goodness me, this year it's not for me, I just can't afford it, maybe consider volunteering at one of their other events. Then you can earn credits to hopefully be at Tea&Trails Ultra in 2026. And there's also some clarity around the camping too. We had a chat with Shane and Libby earlier. And if you go, say, with your family, you might be racing, but you take your family and then everybody goes in one vehicle, the whole family can camp for that weekend.
I might need to shack up in someone's tent, because not sure.
You might want a separate tent, yeah. Where you can all go.
If you want separate tents, we're obviously not going to police that. We just ask that people all come in one vehicle per ticket. There's been lots of chat about comparison of prices, and this is again something that we talked to RIA events about, and they said there's always comparison of prices, and it's very difficult to compare events, and maybe a little bit of a tricky thing to do. But so what we thought we'd do is we're going to invite Shane on the podcast. We'll record that at some point the end of this week or early next week, and we are going to talk about the breakdown of what races cost, because I don't really know, Gary.
I haven't got a clue.
But I've seen a little bit of the work that Libby and Shane have had to do, like just even like getting permission from landowners, the route planning, even getting like vehicle access. Like it is an enormous amount of work. We wanted to use this section to sort of discuss a little bit of background of the race, and also to just sort of say we're open forum. We're just as much as you guys, we're learning on the job as well. And so I think actually it would be really interesting to do this experience. We might never, I might say never again. It might just be the Eddie Tea&Trails podcast race next year, as Gary's still suffering from his stage
trauma.
fright. We're all learning as we go along. So it'll be really interesting next week. We will share that with you. Our chat with Shane on the breakdown of the price as well. And obviously, if anybody was like, I really want to come, but that price point is just too much, then just, climb the fence.
Volunteer, Eddie. It's supposed to say volunteer.
Sorry, volunteer.
Hot reviews. We don't have many reviews, and yeah, Apple is not our friend at the moment.
Gary. You gotta keep the romance alive.
Colin Cole on 15th of January. My favourite snack podcast.
Snack podcast.
Yeah,
is this a term? Is this a youngster's term I'm not aware of? Is it just something he just bites in, or do we all love a snack?
Yeah, take a little bite-sized chunk out of it.
he just listens to a bit with me.
Michael Sutherland, brilliant episode, great laugh and storytelling. We love your reviews, and it really does help the podcast grow and pop up on other trail runners' feeds. So yeah, pop over to iTunes or Spotify, leave a comment, a post, a review. I think you can leave a rating, but if you don't leave a review too, then we will not see it. Thanks, Proing Rebel, for bringing us home. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first ultra, or going for your Lakeland 100 slate, Protein Rebel's products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing performance and overall health benefits. I was the sad case in the cinema with my Protein Rebel shake as my cinema treat. You shake your head. I actually quite enjoy it. It does feel like I'm having a treat.
Sad. Nope. You're a sad man. That's not a treat. Treat. Like Protein Rebel. I love you, and I love your products, but I'm just using them after a run or a weight session, or when I need to make sure I'm not I'm not taking it to the cinema.
Oh, I enjoyed it. For the record, I enjoyed it. I love my vanilla milkshake, and I didn't feel like I was, diving my hand in the popcorn.
Into a little bit. Yeah. Did you get a little bit of popcorn?
No, I'm still no treats. No treats, Gary. No treats, no booze.
Sad.
No caffeine. If you would like to try Protein Rebel, then use the code TEA10 for 15% off your first order.
What's coming up, Gary? I can't plan what's coming up because I keep thinking, I'll feel better tomorrow. I'll feel better tomorrow. And tomorrow comes and I spend most of the night coughing. And then I wake up. Honestly, this morning, Gary, I wasn't sure. How ill would you have to be? You don't do the school anymore. Growing up. Did you ever
how ill would I have to be?
Yeah, how ill would you have to be? No, I have to
I do love my gym jams
as well. But I don't have to get out of the car because I just drop the kids off.
Would you wear a coat to kind of hide your disgrace?
My main thing would be if I got stopped by the police and they pulled me over and then everyone would drive past seeing my M&S circa 1985.
I think about that sometimes when if I've been for a run and I've had to get changed into normal clothes afterwards, but I've maybe got my compression tights on underneath or my shorts underneath and t-shirt underneath. If you had an accident and the ambulance service are kind of cutting your jeans off and you're like, how many goddamn layers has this person got on? But
Bryn always laughs at me because whenever we leave the house, I clean, everything's always in the dish. Like if ever he does the school run and I'm away, which is about once a year, he won't clear up the breakfast stuff before he gets home. And I'm like, suppose you have a car crash and, very
someone's got to come in.
Someone comes in, they go, this house has been burgled. I'm like, I clear everything away. I wipe everything down. All the beds are made just in case.
Just in case anybody.
And then every time I walk back in and go,
has anybody come?
40
years.
Who are these people that are going to come around and judge my house? Anyway, I can't make any plans. I was hoping to go and join Karen for a long run this weekend, but I can't see. I don't know. This week, I think this week is just going to be a total write-off. How do you handle that?
If you had a proper job, Eddie, would you take both of us self-employed? We don't rock up, we don't get paid. If were you that ill, you would take a day off if you worked in Tesco?
Oh, yes, I would. I'd be committed. Well, when I worked in schools, we were quite strict about coming in because obviously you're going to spread it to everybody. Yeah. If you're ill, things like sickness bugs and things, it's like, please don't come in. But when I was a teacher, if you don't come in, someone else has got to cover all your stuff for you. You're not popular.
My old work culture, when I used to work in the design industry back in the day, you came in regardless. If you didn't come in, that was a black mark against you for peer review.
I would have had to be very ill to take sick days off school. I don't actually remember taking a lot of any.
We had a sick bonus, which was basically just encourage you to come in no matter what.
That's bad, isn't it?
It was quite you had then they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they'd print out on the wall every month every job that I went on in the studio and percentages of how efficient people were on each job. Yeah, not a very quite a toxic culture.
I doubt they're allowed to. Yeah, I wonder if they're allowed to do that. Anyway, this week I'm just going to have to take it as it is and try and be kind to myself. And I'm not really sure. I contemplated doing some weights and then I was like, I need to get better, man. I'm not a good ill person. And it's so hard when you've got children and you still got to, I know, I am just taxi servicing until 9 o'clock tonight when all I want to do is maybe I'll put my jammies on for the late night taxi service, because if I am stopped and on, what's it called? Cops on dashboard cops. In my jammies, it'll be done.
Caught on camera, that's it.
It is giving me a bit of time to think about my races and what I want to do. It's giving me that little bit of headspace and instead of go. And so I think I'm right, okay, it's not quite February. I need to be specific in February with my training. If I'm going to do this track 24, we talk about the why a lot.
Yeah.
I need to work out if I've got that, because the training needs to be hard, specific, and I need to make sure my why is right for that race. So I thought, give yourself while you're ill. I know we'd say never make any big decisions after big races or when you're ill, but I am going to try and make a decision for everybody's sake for next week of what I'm going to do. And I've got some other ideas, and now they're tickling me, Gary. I've got some other ideas.
Well, yeah, if something's kind of getting the juices flowing or tickling you, then yeah, you shine light on that.
Get you excited. Oh, reduce the miles? What the hell? Why?
Well,
what the hell?
I had 3 weeks of
Overtrained?
increasing, overtraining. I had 3 weeks of increasing the miles, went up to, I think it was 76 miles, and now I'm technically on plan. So I thought, have a bit of not a down week. I'll still do a workout, but maybe not the double back-to-back runs. I don't know, but fundamentally, I will reduce the miles. Literally, it'll be week 1 of the training plan, and I'll be starting off about 80-mile weeks. So yeah, I'm going to drop the miles down a bit. Might be off to the movies again if the weather's good. Going to do a bit of filming too, but if not, we'll just go for a run. It's super simple. I know it's repetitive, but could just do that same route, exactly what we did last week. It was so simple. Park up at Lordstones, do a big loop back to Lordstones, have a cuppa and a sandwich afterwards. Hope so, because it's nice being on the trails. Good luck to everybody out there on the trails this weekend. Hey, send in your pictures. I love seeing pictures. Bobble hats and dogs.
Bobble hats and dogs. Oh, just bring those dogs around here.
And for me, shout out to all those hard-movers runners taking on the Saltburn trails. I'm sure I'll have a few friends down there. It's a great race. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've toured the line at any hard moves.
We chatted about doing the Hard Moors relay together, didn't we? We should make that become a thing. We should make
that was great. I did it a few years. Well, sorry, I tell a lie. A few years ago.
A couple of years ago.
But as a standalone, that was my first introduction into trail running. Was the Osmotherley Trail Marathon. I knew there were lovely people then because I missed the junction for Osmotherley. Kept driving down the A19. I think it was like pretty much on the A1, and I realised this is not right. Turned up late anyway. I think even the half marathon people had set off, and this is why you need to probably educate yourself with the route a bit better than what I did, because I'd set off after the sweepers had set off, so they were already taking away the tape from the course, so I had no idea where I was going. I remember Square Corner. I remember phoning John Steele. Literally the first time I'd met him was on race day. Phoned him from Square Corner car park.
To the race director.
Yeah.
My God.
I was at Square Corner car park, and it's like literally straight on, left or right. And he got me on the right track. And eventually I caught up the sweeper and everything. But that was a wonderful race because I just kept going past people for hours and hours and hours. It was pretty uplifting. Chippy tea after a Saltburn Marathon.
Thanks for tuning in. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. Please share this episode and the pod. Share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, or even consider becoming an awesome Patreon. If you've been watching this on YouTube, I apologize. I've tried to hide the fact that I'm absolutely disgusting. This week, I will be back on form next week. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Run Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring the show. Remember, new customer codes, here they are, coming up for you. T10 for SHOKZ, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Precision Run Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners, patrons. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Let the trail rise up to meet you. Oh, unless you're Angela Green. I saw she had an arm in cast after the trail. Get well soon, Angela. Sad times, and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe. Progress, not perfection. My name is Gary Thwaites.
I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 106 of the Tea and Trails podcast.